So, have you heard about Google Stitch? It's this new AI tool that's making some serious waves in the web design world. The promise is huge. Generate an entire, beautiful website from just a single prompt. Today, we're going to break down what it is, see if it actually works, and tackle that big question. Is this really the future?
And this right here, this quote says it all. It's from a designer who actually got their hands on Stitch, and it just perfectly captures the two sides of this coin. On one hand, it's an incredible dream, a massive leap forward. But on the other, it's a nightmare, a totally terrifying disruption. And that's the tension we're diving into.
So first up, let's talk about that dream versus the nightmare. We're going to look at the incredible things this tool promises, and then see how that stacks up against the reality of what it can do right now.
All right, so what is Google Stitch exactly? Well, they're calling it a vibe designing tool. The idea is you can throw anything at it, a text prompt, a picture, you can even just talk to it, and poof, it's supposed to generate a complete web design. That's the dream, right? Effortless, top-tier creation at the drop of a hat.
So of course, the first thing the user did was put it to the test. They asked for a website for a shoe company. On the left, you see a really polished professional design made by a human. And on the right, that's what Stitch came up with on its first try. And you know what? For a first attempt, it's actually pretty impressive. But you can also see the gap right away. That human touch, that nuance, it's just not quite there yet.
Okay, next up, we're really putting Stitch through its paces. Let's take a look at a hands-on test of its features and, well, its flaws. Now, this is where things get a little sci-fi. One of the coolest features is voice command. You can literally talk to your design file. The user tried a pretty simple prompt. Make this website pop. And while the idea is amazing, the results from a vague command like that were, well, frankly, they weren't great. It's a really cool concept, but it looks like you still need to be super specific.
Okay, now this is the feature you've probably seen blowing up all over social media. It feels like straight up magic. Take a simple sketch and turn it into a professional website. The process seems ridiculously easy, right? Just a few simple steps.
Yeah, we've all seen those crazy viral videos. A little scribble on a tablet turns into this stunning, complex website. But when our user actually tried it themselves, did the reality even come close to the hype? And the answer was a pretty firm no, not really. On the left is the kind of amazing result you see people posting online. You know, fancy gradients, shadows, complex fonts, the whole shebang. But on the right, that's the actual result from the test. The user called it subpar. And they tried everything, different models, different prompts, but they just could not get those super high-quality results we're all seeing on social media.
Now, to be fair, it's really important to remember this is a beta product. It's not finished. A lot of the core features just aren't working yet. You want to generate a prototype instantly? Nope, that failed. View the source code? It just says coming soon. How about copying it to Figma? Yeah, that didn't work either.
So with all that in mind, how does Stitch actually stack up against the competition? It's time for a little head-to-head AI showdown to see where it stands. The test was simple. Ask 3 different AIs to design a fitness app, and the results here really paint a picture of the current landscape. Stitch came up with something pretty vibrant and decent. Codex gave a functional but kind of basic design. But then there's Claude, another big AI model, and wow! Its design was clean, polished, and it was actually more complete. It even included a proper app menu.
So when the dust settled on this comparison, the conclusion was pretty clear. At least for this one test, Claude was the decisive winner. The user said it nailed it as the best design of the 3. This gives us some really important perspective on where Stitch is right now in this crazy, fast-moving AI world.
So let's step back for a second. Let's move beyond the bugs, the benchmarks, and all the technical stuff. What is the true impact of a tool like this? What does it really mean for creators?
First, let's talk about a feature that is genuinely revolutionary. Stitch automatically creates something called a Design.md file. This is basically your entire design system, but in a simple text file. It spells out all the rules for your colors, your fonts, your spacing. For keeping a design consistent, this is a massive deal. It could be a huge time saver for any development team.
And now, this is where we get to the nightmare. After playing around with the tool, the user shares something absolutely devastating. For the last 6 months, they had been building their own startup, an AI tool for vibe designing on an infinite canvas, almost exactly what Stitch is. This one quote just hits you like a punch to the gut. When a giant like Google releases something like this, their entire project became obsolete, basically overnight.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it?
the one that's at the very heart of this dream and this nightmare. Are these incredibly powerful new AI tools here to empower us, the individual creators, to give us superpowers to build amazing things faster than ever before? Or are they here to replace us, to put all the creative power into the hands of a few giant companies, making our skills worthless? That's the profound and, honestly, kind of scary question that a tool like Google Stitch forces every single one of us to confront.